Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. Sometimes you just have to have a new roof. There's no way around it. Other times, well, maybe a roof restoration will work for you. And of course, if it comes to repairs, nobody does it better than Daniel Hood Roofing. Isn't that right, panelist number 4?
Yeah, I agree.
Daniel Hood Roofing is your answer. So many people on this set have had Daniel up on their roofs, working on their roofs, getting them new roofs, that it says a lot that we trust him with our roofs. You can too. DanielHoodRoofing.com. You don't believe me? Go believe your neighbors. Check out the website and you're going to see testimonials. You'll get tired of reading them. There are so many of them. DanielHoodRoofing.com. All right, in case you couldn't tell, we are back with Daniel Hood, Sterling Hinton, Chuck Cavaliers. What's your name again? Chuck Cavaliers? Bob Hodge. I'm just trying to stay awake to the end of this show. All right, Bob, I'm going to start with you. Simple question. Is Tennessee's offense good enough to win the SEC East?
I'm going to say their offense is good enough to win the SEC East, but not because their offense to me looks like it's really consistent or anything else to do with Tennessee's offense. I think if you look around the East, the rest of the offenses don't look any better than Tennessee's. They have their games where they're on and they look sharp. They have their games when they don't. Florida, pretty good example, Kentucky State. So, yeah, I think Tennessee playing the way they are now, which I still don't think has got to that, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're a 7 at times. I think they are just simply because there are no really good offenses in the SEC East.
I don't know who would have predicted this before the season, but you were going into yesterday, you were dead last in the SEC in pass plays over 20 yards. And all we talked about all offseason was Joe Milton can throw it 300 yards.
I know.
He can throw it out of one stadium and into another. So you don't have the big plays like you have in the past. I want to hear your take on that. And also, Brew McCoy now probably done for the season. I don't see there's any way around that one. Brew McCoy's out. Dante Thornton didn't play yesterday. Don't know when he's going to be back. The open date should help there. But you're looking now, since last year, you've lost Cedric Tillman, who wasn't there all year, but Tillman, Hyatt, and McCoy. That's tough to replace. You're down to Squirrel White, Ramel Keaton, and then you're probably looking at Chaz Nimrod and Caleb Webb, who you're going to be counting on to step up. Is this offense good enough to win the East?
I'm going to go on the limb and just say what I feel. I say absolutely because they have not brought it all together yet. We're still having key drops, and I know they can catch. We're having a couple of routes that have been as crisp as I know they're practicing, and I know they will be. So we haven't put our best foot forward as an offense yet. And I think those big plays are coming in the second half of the season.
Talk to me about the route running.
Well,
you finally said something somewhat negative. I got to.
Well, I know I've seen them run crisper routes in practice, and unfortunately, the rerouting of the DBs on the opposite teams have not they haven't fought to get back on it hard enough.
If we're looking at young guys like Webb, Nimrod, isn't that going to be tougher for them? Those are guys that you can.
It's going to be tougher, but one thing we do have to help them out is we got 3 experienced tight ends.
Yeah.
So we can move them around. And we got a running back group of triplets that can run the rock. So that's going to help them out also.
Daniel, Chuck, what do you think about, is this offense good enough to win the East?
I don't think they're there yet. I think there's hope for them with Al Squirrel really picked up his game last night.
Great catch last night. Yeah.
God, the catch
Had
was
9
amazing.
targets, 9 catches.
Yeah, he played incredible, and I think Dylan Sampson's made himself a utility player out of the backfield and as a slot receiver. But you're not there just yet. You need Milton to be healthy, and you need Thornton to be healthy, and then at that point you can grow into that offense. But I don't think you're there yet.
As long as the running game is clicking, I think you got a fighting chance to win your division. The player I think you're going to be looking to more, and Sterling kind of touched on it, Jacob Warren. I mean, look at the catch, touchdown catch he made in the end zone. If anybody has the physical kind of ability to take up where Brew McCoy left off, I think it's Jacob Warren.
The one thing that still really bothers me about this offense, if their first down is not successful, it seems like you're going 3 and out. Now, I don't know what the stats are, if they back me up or not. You have good success on first down, and the offense seems like it clicks. You come out there and you run or you throw incomplete or you get stuffed, And it just seems like that drive comes to a halt.
Well,
They
when-
got to stay on time.
Well, yeah, because when you fall behind the chains, as Heupel said a couple last week, you fall behind the chains, they slow down their offense.
Yeah.
They're not moving as fast. So I think it does feed all into each other.
Without doubt, it feeds because I think that goes to the drops we've been having. We're having a lot of drops on first down. But I know Coach Pope is going to have those guys catching the ball. And if they just caught the ball and got those yards in advance, makes it 2nd and 4, 2nd and 2.
Right.
I mean, Nimrod, for example, I believe, didn't he have the
Yes.
rifle shot through the hands
Yes.
and into his face last
Yes.
night?
Yes.
All right, you're having to learn to fight against DBs at this level. You're also having to learn to catch a ball from a guy who throws it 200 miles an hour because he doesn't take a lot off. We hear that all the time. That he shows a lot of touch in practice. I don't see a lot of touch on Saturdays.
Well,
so those guys are being asked to do quite a bit. It's
They
a learning
are,
curve.
but you got a whole bunch of people coming at you trying to take your head off of the game.
I-
So, give them a little break
know,
on that. But they'll get more reps with Joe now
Yeah.
with the first team.
And you
them
can get
hands
more.
will get right.
Also, don't forget the mobility of Joe Milton. And if he's going to be wearing
If he's
that knee
healthy.
brace,
Yeah.
you need to have him being able to pick up some yards here and there on the ground.
You will.
All right. Mr. Positive, very good. Mr. Continuity, Mr. Positive. All right, Bob, good luck to your Vikings today.
Thank you much.
they
And luck is all they've got.
If they lose again, do you stop with the Viking parties and stay with us?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
After 30 years, I doubt it. All
He'll
right.
negotiate.
When we come back, 3 of our VFLs will tell you how this Tennessee team currently stacks up to their preseason expectations. Come on back on the Sports Source.